Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome back to River Forest and the Concordia softball field for some weekend action. It's the Cougars hosting the visiting Wisconsin Lutheran College Warriors, coming down from Wisconsin in a late season NAC matchup that for both of these teams could hold a lot of implications for the conference tournament. I'm Jonathan Shear with the Cougar Sports Network. Joining me today is Sam Smith. Sam, we're getting ready to go today, and Cougars coming in today sitting at 7-11 in conference. They're 9th in the NAC, right on the edge of that last playoff spot in 8th. WLC, they're coming in today 7-7. They've missed a few games due to some crazy weather we've had this spring. They're 7th in the NAC. These are two teams that are right up neck and neck, fighting for the playoffs. What's the mentality going into a game like this?
Absolutely. I think going into this game's got to be do or die mentality. Like you said, it's late in the season. Both these teams, both 7 wins in conference play this year, but CUC with 11 losses and WLC with 7 losses. So, like you said, the weather has been crazy, as it is every single spring in beautiful Chicago, beautiful Midwest. But yeah, this needs to be do or die mentality for both of these teams.
And today it'll be WLC leading things off against the Cougars. Leading off for Wisconsin Lutheran is number 34, Juju Alloy. On deck and in the hole to start the game is Summer Kroll and Maritza Martinez, respectively. On the mound today for the Cougars is Alyssa Lopez, and Lopez fires that first pitch down low and inside for a ball. So 1-0 count to start the day on Juju Alloy. Alloy coming into today hitting .280 on the season, getting on base around .365. And she's got a 2-0 count to start.
Yeah, Alyssa Lopez, she's got a 4.54 ERA on the season. The problem with her is walks. She has 14 walks, only compared to 4 strikeouts.
And Alloy up the middle. It'll get into the outfield. Pilas able to knock it down and slow it up, but still gets into the grass. And it's a leadoff knock for Juju Alloy. And an interesting dynamic we've got for this game, Sam. This is kind of a matchup of weakness on weakness. One of those weaker parts of this Cougar squad here has been the pitching, giving up a lot of hits, giving up a lot of slug. And on the other hand, Wisconsin Lutheran, they've just struggled generally on offense this year.
Yeah, this has not been the best offense in the NAC by any means. They've been under 300, which is third to last in the NAC, and they're second to last in slugging and third to last on base. So, and the Cougars, they struggle. They have pitching struggles as well, so I'm very curious to see what will happen in today's game.
Kroll flies that into left field. Goldsby's there, and she'll get it back in. That will hold Alloy over at first, and there's out number 1. And taking out Kroll, that is one of the 2 biggest threats. So 1 down, and then you got Maritza Martinez, who's maybe the biggest threat in this Warriors lineup coming up to the plate. Lopez kicks and fires. And a big swing and a miss from Martinez on a pitch outside of the zone.
Yeah, Martinez batting .389 on the season. That leads this Wisconsin Lutheran team. Slugging .542. It's been an excellent season for her.
Martinez grounds it over to third, firing over to second. There's 1. And Martinez safe at first. Campos able to get it over to Auger for 1. Cougars can't turn 2, but it does make it 2 outs and a runner at first to take out the leadoff runner. So with 2 outs and a man on first, Kylie Gaston up to the plate. And Sam, there's one reason and one reason only that Kylie Gaston is in this lineup against the Cougars today, and that's the slug.
Yeah, absolutely. She has power and pop in that bat.
Lopez kicks and fires, and Gaston rips it into right field. That is gone! And that got out in a hurry! Sweet biscuits, that thing was cracked. I mean, Sam, was that in the air for 3 seconds even?
I mean, that ball got out in a hurry.
I mean, that's a line drive home run if I've ever seen one. I don't think that ball started going down until it got to the wall.
And that looked like that ball went over the higher part of the fence.
And that's
well.
that 100% in the baseball field at a minimum. Wow, Kylie Gaston, a rocket, and it puts Wisconsin Lutheran up 2-0 early. Crutcher grounding over to third. Campos charging. They get out number 3. Cougars get out of the inning, but not before Kylie Gaston does some damage. Her 5th home run on the season. And the Warriors up 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the 1st. We'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network. Bottom of the 1st, Cougars down 2-0 early. Still reeling from a Kylie Gaston rocket into right. And they'll have Haley Goldsby leading things off today to try and punch back. On the mound for the Warriors is Tegan Piven, and Piven fires that first pitch in for strike 1.
Yeah, Tegan Piven, she's been awesome this year with a 2.08 ERA. She started 11 games in 67 1/3 innings pitched. Out of Plainfield, Illinois, hitters just averaging 250 against her. 42 strikeouts to 20 walks, which is extremely impressive at this level.
Cougars, they got Goldsby leading off. Southern on deck, and Arissa Santos in the hole to start things off. The 1-1 pitch to Goldsby. And she takes that high for ball 2. Good take for Goldsby, who's coming into the day batting .341, slugging around .471. Piven takes some time, gets the call, and she winds and fires. That's low and in the dirt, kicks to the backstop. So after starting 0-1, Goldsby keeps the bat on the shoulder, gets into a 3-1 count.
And that's where you got to take advantage. Cougar lineup is going to have their hands full with Piven.
And Piven winds and fires. And Goldsby takes it low and in, a leadoff walk for the Cougs. And there's a man on first, no outs for Lindley Southern.
Right fielder, number 11, Lindley Southern.
I wouldn't be too shocked here, Sam, if we saw a bunt situation from Southern.
Yeah, I can see that.
And something
get a runner in scoring position
yeah.
for Arissa Santos.
That's something this team loves doing. Southern, one of the team's speedsters. Up high here for this purpose. You get the leadoff man on. We were first, and there it is. Oh, and it's a popped bunt. Goldsby's able to get back to first in time to avoid the double play.
Yeah.
But the sack bunt does not pay off.
It's not what you're looking for on that bunt opportunity, but still got Arissa Santos on with the runner on first. And yeah, numbers show .479 batting average on the season. I mean, that's about all I got to say for Arissa Santos. It's been an incredible year for her offensively.
Piven fires, and Santos takes it up for ball 1. Yeah, you mentioned Santos hitting nearly .480 coming into the game, slugging above .600, getting on base in more than half of her at-bats. As she takes that one in for a strike. And Goldsby almost caught napping. She's able to get back in time.
Yeah, one thing Santos doesn't have on the season, though, is a home run, which is surprising, but...
Especially surprising for Santos. She showed off some pop in her last season here. The 1-1 pitch to Santos. And she grounds that foul off the very end of the bat to the dugout for strike 2. It's 1-2 count on Santos. You got a runner at first, 1 out. On deck is Melissa Hajik, the reigning NAC Player of the Week. Here's the 1-2. And a swing and a miss. They get Santos going high for out number 2. First strikeout of the day for Pivot, and that brings Melissa Hajik up to the plate. And Hajik has been fantastic this year for the Cougars. 391, slugging nearly 700 coming into the game. She takes that one high. She leads this team in home runs with 5 on the year, and that's been her trademark stat for the last week, picking up her first NAC Player of the Week of the season. The 1-0. Hajik takes that lone out for ball 2.
Yeah, this Cougar lineup, not really meant for their home run power, but Hajik is no stranger to hitting the long ball. Like you said, 5 home runs on the season, leading the Cougars. 5 out of their 7 home runs this season.
2-0 count. Piven fires. And Hajik takes that one in for a strike. Goldsby just able to get back in time again. 2-1 count on Hajik. It's a very similar look at the stat sheet for both of these teams when you start looking at the power. The Cougars, just 7 home runs coming into today. Now Wisconsin Lutheran at 6 following that Kylie Gaston shot in the first inning. But outside of your sluggers, as Hajik pops that into short right, Crutcher's under it for out number 3. Outside of your sluggers, no one has more than 1 home run. You got one player that loves to put it over the fence. Hajik can't get it done in that at-bat. That ends the bottom of the first for the Cougars. And they head to the top of the second. Wisconsin Lutheran still leading by 2. It's 2-0 when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network. Top of the second, Wisconsin Lutheran up 2-0 on the Cougars early, courtesy of a 2-run shot from Kylie Gaston. And in the top of the second, they'll be led off by Anna Brackey. As Lopez fires that lone outside for ball 1. Brackey, the freshman out of Brookfield, Wisconsin. On the year. Hitting down 247 as she sends that foul into the trees and on to Division Street. Don't know if it hit a car. This is prime season for car hunting here on Division Street, as there's another one into the netting. This might be the most packed we've seen Division Street this season.
This is something else.
Got a lot of youth soccer going across the way at Priori Park today.
This is reminding me of like a battleship game. When you know you don't have any, you have miss after miss after miss, and then you finally find like that one area where all the ships are located. That's what it feels like with these cars.
And Brackey takes that outside. It fills up the count, 3-2.
Yeah, Anna Brackey, 26 starts on the season. You can tell this Wisconsin Lutheran team has a lot of faith in her.
Lopez fires. Brackey lifts that to right. Southern tracking for the out. Flies out on 3-2, and that makes it 1 out as Rebecca Redeman, the freshman from Lutheran Westland in Michigan, coming up to the plate. Lopez back onto the rubber. She'll wind and fire. And Redeman into right field. Southern barely even moves for that one, and there's out number 2. The Warriors, they're lifting the ball very well today. They are getting it into the outfield. So far, they haven't been able to get it to land.
Yeah, this inning, at least.
I mean, even going back to that first, you got a shot way out deep. Kroll in the 2-hole flew out to deep left. They're making contact and lifting it up. That's popped foul into the Cougar dugout. That'll be strike 1 on Molly Kelly, the shortstop, who, great defender, not the best year at the plate for Kelly. Kelly takes that one low for ball 1.
Yeah, and if you're this Cougar defense, you know that Lopez is not the pitcher to strike a lot of batters out, so you got to be on your heels at all times.
And so far, they've done a great job of backing up Lopez defensively.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's induced a lot of playable contact, and giving up a 2-run shot, that's a blemish on anybody's record. But beyond that one shot, even the single surrender to Alloy, soft grounder up the middle, just where no one is. 2-1 to Kelly. That's low and in, 3-1 count. Kelly coming into the day batting just 186. Only getting on base around 273 as well. She's struck out 15 times, more than any other player on that roster by 5 whole strikeouts. All right, now she's in a favorable position at that 3-1 count. And you can kind of see this where Kelly's going, just keeping the bat on the shoulder. And Lopez, who isn't consistently finding the zone right now, just kind of letting her miss. The 3-1 pitch on the way. And that's grounded foul to the Warrior dugout. It'll fill up the count.
You know, if you're playing in the outfield or in the infield, you got to be excited about a game like this when you know a lot of balls are put in play. Maybe not as exciting, maybe a little more nerve-wracking if it's a tight game and there's runners on base, but
here's the payoff. That's grounded over to third. Campos picking, slinging over to first. For out number 3, it's a 1-2-3 inning for Lopez. She bounces back. We head to the bottom of the second. Concordia still trailing by 2. They'll try to punch back when we come back. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network. Bottom of the second, Cougars trailing by 2 as Alyssa Campos coming up to the plate to lead things off for the Cougs. Piven fires, and Campos slinging that into the netting for a foul ball and strike 1. Campos coming into the day, hitting .356, getting on base around .450.
Yeah, it's been an excellent season for Campos, second in RBIs, slugging .533.
Piven back on the rubber, steps, winds, fires, and drops that one high for ball 1. 1-1 count now.
I mean, Campos is just the perfect player in the 5-hole, right behind Santos and Hazik. Excuse me.
And Campos lifting that to right. That's going back off the bottom of the wall. Rounding first, going for a second, and she is in with a double. Alyssa Campos leads things off and puts the runner in scoring position with no outs for the Cougs.
Now batting for the Cougars, the center fielder, number 17, Michaela Morris.
That's a runner on second. No outs for Michaela Morris. Morris, a big threat on this Cougar lineup, hitting .359 on the year, slugging .576. Maybe a bit of a disappointing season for her in the slugging area, but that's just because of the high expectations she came into the year with.
Yeah, absolutely, but still batting .359 on the season.
Now leading this team in doubles at 13 as Morris takes that high for ball one.
Yeah, and don't get it twisted. The Cougars are still a lineup that they have a lot of pop. They're fourth in the NAC in slugging at .452. They just don't hit the long ball.
Here's the 1-0. And Morris showing bunt, lays it down the first baseline. Piven picking it up, and she drops it. Piven drops it on the transfer, had the easy out at first. And that's going to move Campos over to third. Morris is safe at first, and that's runners at the corners and no outs for Maya Lorenas.
I mean, that was a nicely placed bunt there and put a lot of pressure on the flip over to first.
Yeah.
And just drop the ball.
And Martinez is going to head out to the mound to have a quick meeting with her pitcher. So Piven in the biggest hole she's found herself in today. Now runners at the corners, no outs. Maya Lorenas up to the plate. You got 7, 8, and 9 coming up for the Cougars. Lorenas on the year hitting .348. Puts the ball in play a lot. Lorenas, I mean, she's only struck out 5 times this year in 69 at-bats.
Yeah, it's very impressive. Not a lot of pop in that bat, but a situation like this, too, first and third, 1 out, just want to get that runner over.
Yeah, I mean, you get anything, really anything, deep infield, into the outfield, that scores a run.
Absolutely.
1-0 count on Lorenas. Piven fires. And that's in for a strike.
Yeah, that's a nice pitch right there. Painted on the inside.
This is probably the part of the order you want to be coming up against if you are Piven. Lorenas makes a lot of contact, doesn't have a lot of pop, so you don't risk too much that extra base knock here. And then after that, Auger and Pilas. 1-1 count on Lorenas. Piven fires. And a big swing and a miss. The off-speed fools her.
That was nasty.
She's way ahead of that. You can kind of see that lurch. She tries to bring the bat back and stay in the zone longer.
Yeah, and that's the type of pitch why Piven has a 2.08 ERA on the season.
Here's the 1-2. And Lorenas is going to foul it back. She'll keep the at-bat going. So Lorenas, she struck out 5 times on the year, but she has only taken 7 walks. So what she does do is make contact, put it in play. Either it's a hit, it's a grounder. Usually, that time, though, it's a strikeout. Piven just putting the cheese up high, and Lorenas can't hold back. There's out number 1.
The shortstop, number 3, Elena Pilas.
So with 1 away and runners at the corner, Elena Pilas stepping up to the plate for the Cougs. Pilas coming into the day, hitting .241 on the year. She's picked up a regular spot in this Cougars lineup towards the end of the season. Piven winds and fires, and Pilas drops the bunt over to first for 1. And Campos able to get back to third safely.
Wow.
So you go for the sack bunt and the suicide squeeze, and it does not work out.
Now batting for the Cougars,
They get Pilas over at first, and then Campos can't get home from third.
I mean, that's just what WLC does so well. They're such a good team on defense. Only 33 errors on the season. That's second in the NAC, and as you can tell there.
So now Liza Auger at the plate. She's going to foul that first pitch off over the net and into the grass. You go back to that bunt from Pilas. What really killed it was just got too much sauce on it.
Yeah.
Gets to the mound way too quickly. You don't give Compost time to get a good jump. The 0-1 is high and outside for ball one. Second and third, 2 outs for Auger, who's in a 1-1 count. Piven fires. Auger takes it high for ball 2. Good take. You got an open bag over at first. You got Haley Goldsby on deck. Here's the 2-1. Auger takes it high again. That's ball 3.
Yeah, and Piven really getting through the heart of the order. Let's see if the Cougars here, Liza Auger, do something here.
So now the 3-1. Piven steps, winds, fires. Just gassing that one down the middle for a strike. It'll fill it up.
Yeah, that's a good pitch there. Now you have pressure. Now there's pressure in this 3-2 count. You're up 3-1. Got to protect here, and we know Piven is excellent.
Here's the payoff pitch on the way. And Auger pops it up into foul ground. Martinez drops it. A golden opportunity to get out of the inning, and Maritza Martinez can't finish the play. So the foul ball will keep the at-bat going. That's the saving grace for Wisconsin Lutheran, is that that's just a foul ball. But it's still a full count. Runners second and third, 2 outs. Trying to get out of a jam. Piven fires. Swing and a miss. They get Auger going. Throw down to first to finish it. And after the Cougars put him on first and third with no outs, they leave them stranded to a board. We head to the top of the third. Cougars still trailing 2-0 when we come back. And we're back, top of the third. Wisconsin Lutheran back up to the plate. Warriors leading 2-0. There's a new arm on the mound for the Cougars. Katie Davis. As Maddie Heller drops a bunt, goes just foul. And by just foul, I mean right in the crook between the third baseline and the batter's box. That thing maybe went 2 feet from the bat.
Yeah, Katie Davis, the freshman, 5.94 ERA on the season, and she walks a lot of people. She has 17 strikes on the season, but 37 walks, and kind of the theme. Just get ahead in counts. She has good stuff.
She takes that one low and out, evens the count at 1 apiece. Here's the 1-1. Low again for ball 2. So now Heller just starting to keep the bat on the shoulder.
Yeah, and that's really the game plan against Katie Davis. Make her beat you.
The 2-1. Pulls back from the bunt for ball 3. That is a rough start to the at-bat for Heller. Sorry for Davis. Trying to get back into it, the 3-1. Maddie Heller just goes swinging way late.
I mean, that looked like a swing when you're thinking to yourself, I'm swinging no matter where this ball goes. And you could see the regret.
That was way high above her head. Here's the full count pitch.
Yeah.
And it's off the plate for ball 4.
Well,
so she gets the walk anyways.
Yeah, no harm, no foul.
That puts the leadoff man on with no outs. And you're right back up to the top of the order. Juju Alloy coming up to the plate. This is Wisconsin Lutheran construction. You got some key parts of, that traditional lineup construction for baseball and softball. There's a pop bunt. Ajit can't grab it. Up top you got Alloy leading things off. And then you got your best all-around hitter in the 3-hole in Martinez. Your best power hitter in that cleanup spot. Your worst 2 hitters down at 8 and 9. It just kind of feels like you look at the stat sheet, you put together a lineup, and this is what you come out with, and it works.
Yeah.
There's a reason this is your traditional lineup construction. 0-1, that button dropped again right in front of home plate. Easy out over at first. They're able to move Heller up to second. Yeah, that bunt, again, barely a foot or 2 in front of the plate.
That's a good heads-up play there. Perfect throw over first base, but got the job done. And for this WLC lineup, you're thinking only need a few runs with Piven on the mound. Get a run by any means necessary.
So runner at second, 1 out. That's a hot shot into the outfield for a base hit. Heller's head will be held up at third. So it's a base knock for Summer Kroll. It moves Heller up to third. And it's now runners at the corners with 1 out for Maritza Martinez. That was a hard grounder.
That would have been a tough play for Campos to make. And you got first and third with 1 out.
So you're going to get that courtesy runner over at first. That's Natalie Jordan, the sophomore out of Cincinnati.
Wisconsin Lutheran, team that likes to steal. 53 stolen bases on the season, 4th in the NAC. Wouldn't be surprised if they play aggressive here on the base pass.
So Coach O'Malley Fisher headed out to the mound to have a meeting with her squad. Her team in a bit of a jam, already down by 2, and the bases are threatening. And this is the worst part of the lineup to be in when you got runners at the corners. Your best all-around hitter, Mr. Martinez, Kylie Gaston, who's already tagged you for a dinger today, on deck.
I want to see her swing the bat again. I mean, she put a hold into that ball in the first inning.
So there we go. Cougars back into their defensive positions. First and third, 1 out for Maritza Martinez. Davis winds and fires, and a big swing and a miss for strike 1.
That's a nice pitch there. Starting them off 0-1.
Stepping back in. Davis winds and fires. Another big swing and a miss. And then Kroll, there's Jordan, caught in a rundown. Out over at second. The run does score. I mean, that's Little League play at its finest, Sam, and that wasn't even a designed double steal.
As soon as Alder threw over to first, it was just an all-out sprint to home, and getting a little greedy there on defense.
At first, you're wondering what in the world is Natalie Jordan doing over at first?
But you got the run, and I mean that's all you could ask for.
1-1, out for a run on WLC's side, and you still got 1 out left now, as Maritza Martinez gets right back in to a 2-2 count.
See, if this was a game that was high scoring, I would take a run or an out for a run, but in a game like this, with Piven on the mound,
she's going to be in full count. Yeah, runs are going to be coming at a premium on offense. 3-2 count on Martinez, coming all the way back from being down 0-2. Here is the payoff. And they get her swinging. Davis on the outside for strike 3. She gets out of the jam, but not before the Cougars give up a run. Some nifty base running from WLC puts a run across. They lead 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the third. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network. Bottom of the third, Cougars trailing 3-0. Haley Goldsby leading things off against Tegan Piven.
Piven got out of some trouble last inning. Back to the top of the order. See what they could do against Piven the second time through.
1-0 count on Goldsby. Piven will step and wind and fire. That's grounded foul over towards the Wisconsin Lutheran dugout. Evens the count up at 1-1. One ball, one strike. Goldsby into the box. Piven sets and delivers. That's way up and out for ball 2. Goldsby drew a walk in her last at-bat back in the first.
Yeah, Goldsby seeing her well, waiting for one to rip.
Here's the 2-1. And that gets loose. That's a backstop. And Goldsby's got a 3-1 count to work with.
Yeah, Piven not too happy with herself after that pitch. Shaking her head. Still time to get back into this count, though. You've seen her do it before.
Here is the 3-1. That's a swing and a miss. High heat. Right over the plate.
Yeah, really aggressive pitch there.
Full count.
Bringing the heat.
Goldsby back into the box. Piven sets, gets the call. And here's the payoff pitch. Goldsby into right center. Making the play, Rebecca Redeman. Lay it out for out number 1. Oh, you mentioned it, Sam. This team does their best work with the glove, and Redeman showing it off in center.
I mean, what a play there from Redeman. I thought that was dropping the whole time. As soon as Goldsby made contact.
There's out number 1, and Lindley Southern now up to the plate. Southern popped out her last time up and takes a swinging foul
and
for strike 1.
It's all about the little things for this WLC team. They do not have a great offense, but you need to make plays like that to make up for that lack of scoring.
Here's the 0-1. And that's something you see across baseball and softball as you work your way up to those higher levels. The pitching gets exponentially better at a faster rate than the batting. So runs come at more of a premium. You look at Major League Baseball, you look at professional softball, you look at high D1 NCAA softball as Southern. Grounding it over to short. Ooh.
That's a...
Wow.
Yeah,
Molly Kelly just staring at the dirt.
Yeah, that took a
That took a nasty hop.
The designated player, number 15, Arissa Santos.
I mean, that was just off the dirt, clean over Kelly's head.
I don't think a lot of shortstops are making that play. That's a... that's just...
And we'll score that as an error. I mean, that is a...
Yeah,
that is
error,
a nearly
that's a tough
impossible
error.
play to make for the shortstop.
That's why errors at times could be a misleading stat, in my opinion.
And Santos popping that over to left field. Play is made again! Maddie Heller sliding catch for out number 2. I mean, it's a tough break for the Cougars. You've got to love the defensive work being shown off today.
The route that she took to get to that ball, just incredible display of athleticism.
So Hajiq up to the plate, grounded over to second, pitching over to the shortstop. Kelly, the put out. There's out number 3. Cougars get a man on with 1 out. They strand him over at first. Wisconsin Lutheran flashing the leather through 3. They've got the Cougars shut out 3-0 when we come back for the top of the 4th. And we're back top of the 4th, and Sam, look who's coming up to the plate. It's Kylie Gaston. Gaston, 1 pitch, 1 dinger her last time up.
I mean, she took her time. 1 pitch, 1 home run. And there she is, aggressive once again.
Another big swing. And that time it goes foul. I mean, we mentioned about she's in this lineup for one reason today and one reason only. That's the power. As Cougars team, they give up a lot of home runs. She hits home runs better than anybody on this WOC squad.
Yeah, and Gaston only 12 games started this season.
She'll take the 0-1 high. One count on Gaston. Davis steps and fires. Gaston thought about it. Takes it down the middle for a strike. I think that one she just missed the timing.
Yeah. Well, what impresses me about Gaston is she only has 3 strikeouts on the season, so it's not like she's ultra aggressive.
1-2. Takes that low for ball 2. And I think that strike rate there, honestly, one of the better indicators of why she doesn't strike out a lot.
Yeah.
You could swing at that.
That's a good take on a 1-2 count.
You could make that a grounder, but you don't because you know you're not going to make good contact.
Yeah.
There she fouls that off to the playground, keeps the at-bat alive, and that's a professional at-bat.
Yeah, and then we're getting the whole spiel here from Gaston.
2-2 count. Davis back on the rubber. Steps and fires. And Gaston just misses it, pops it over to second. Yeah. Auger makes the play for out number 1.
That little jam shot there.
You can't get him to strike out, get him to make bad contact.
Yeah, 100%. And Davis looks dialed. That last inning, that run she gave up, that weird
Yeah.
pickle, whatever you want to call it. Didn't look like a
The Little League double steal.
Yeah.
We'll call it that.
it didn't really look like it was not your typical double steal. I'll put it that way. But
Little League base running chaos.
at its finest.
1-0 count on Crutcher. Davis fires, and Crutcher fouls that straight back to the booth for strike one. Yep. 1-1 count. And that's a good take for ball 2. 2-1 count on Crutcher. Pitch. That's fouled high over the fence.
Yeah,
And into Division Street for strike 2.
and when Davis is fine in the zone like this, she could be scary. And a lot
2-2 count
and
now.
a lot of favorable counts so far today.
Good take. Fills it up at 3-2. The payoff. Hot shot for a foul.
No reaction there.
Over at third base. Coach just shrugging it off, taking it off the hip.
I mean, that wasn't weak contact or anything. Kind of took that like a champ.
So, Crutcher back into the box. Payoff pitch again on the way. That's low. That skips off the plate. And Crutcher takes her base at first. Puts a man on with 1 out.
Now batting for the Warriors, the second baseman,
The ump going to brush off the home plate.
number 18, Anna Brackey.
Clean it up. So Anna Brackey back up to the plate. Brackey flew out to right in her last at-bat. And we're kind of, and Brackey takes a big swing and a miss. We're kind of getting a little bit of a shift. Those first 2 innings, Wisconsin Lutheran, they're making good contact. They weren't able to get it to fall. Last 2 innings, that contact's starting to go down. That kind of shows you your difference in pitchers.
Yeah.
Going from Lopez to Davis. Davis, it's a bit more swing and miss. That's kind of the pitching style there. Lopez inducing poor contact. That's
Yeah.
the name of the game there.
100%.
1-1 count on Brackey. Davis fires. Heat. Strike 2.
Yeah, it's a great pitch there.
1-2 count on Brackey. Got Redeman on deck. Here is the 1-2. And Brackey's going to foul it back and stay alive. Staying at a 1-2 count. Davis pops it up on the infield. That's going foul, and it drops right down where Hajik's usually set up as backstop. That looked like it was going to go out a bit, but the spin bringing it back to foul, and that's a good news for Anna Brackey.
Yeah, maybe Hajik didn't even have doing a little bit too much there. The ball didn't really go anywhere.
I mean, it looked like it was going to go somewhere.
It did not. I would not have guessed it would have landed there.
Here's the 1-2 again. Brackey, another foul. Battling to stay alive right now. And this gets a little nerve-wracking on the mound for a pitcher.
100%.
The more the at-bat goes, the more of a chance there is something bad's going to happen.
Especially for a pitcher like Davis who has control problems at times.
Oof. There's another foul ball.
Ooh, Tree saving a car right there.
Breath on Division Street. You know, all those T-ball parents out there. You park with risk on Division
Yeah.
Street.
Park at your own risk.
The 1-2 again. That time it is popped up on the infield. Campos making the play. What are we doing? Peyton Crutcher breaking for second on contact. Ooh. Easily picked off at first. So the base running hasn't been the cleanest today from Wisconsin Lutheran, and that continues. A double play to end the inning. And we head to the bottom of the fourth. WLC up 3-0. That was disgusting.
That was
And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network, bottom of the fourth. Alyssa Campos leading things off for the Cougs. Concordia still trailing by 3. Tegan Piven still out on the mound for WLC. And that one just low for ball one. Campos, a double off the wall her last time up, ended up getting stranded at third.
Yeah, and really no issues today for Piven.
No.
With those going through Santos and Hazik. And
Campos, oof, good contact again, but it goes foul. That's somewhere over on Division Street.
Not a car.
1-1 count.
Yeah, and Alyssa Campos, also an excellent hitter, but Santos and Hazik, is really impressive what Piven has been able to do today.
Ooh, that is paint on the edge to make it a 1-2 count.
I mean, you just there's nothing you could do there if you're Campos. It's an excellent pitch. Now you got to protect.
So here's the 1-2 count. Piven steps and fires. That's low for ball two. That'll even it up. 2 apiece for Campos. Piven delivers. And that is tagged deep to left. Say goodbye! Campos with a drive of her own. That's in the baseball bullpen. Woo-hoo-hoo! Alyssa Campos brings the Cougs within 2. That thing took a journey. I mean, Sam, you look out there where that landed behind the fence. That's with the benches in the baseball bullpen.
That was a great swing there from Campos. A little bit more hang time than the other home run we've seen today.
And you get a little bit of help from the wind going in the opposite direction, but still clearing the fence by nearly 40, 50 feet.
And that's on a 2-2 count off Piven. That is excellent at bat there from Campos.
Cougars get their first run of the day. Alyssa Campos drives it out. And that brings Kyler Morris up to the plate. Morris reached base on an error her last time up. Piven fires. Oh, Peyton the edge again on the outside this time. 1-1 count. Piven delivers. That's way inside ball two.
Yeah, it could be a little bit rattling for a pitcher giving up a leadoff home run, but Piven looks dialed in. Yeah.
2-1 count. And Morris fouls it back, evens things up at 2 apiece.
Yeah, right back to a 2-2 count here. Just get that first out. Just treat it like a brand new inning here. That's what you should do as a pitcher.
We've seen Piven be able to rebound from jams before. This isn't like a jam, but adversity.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way. The 2-2. Piven delivers. Hot shot. Foul down the third baseline.
Yeah, just foul there.
That'll keep Morris alive. Still a 2-2 count. Piven fires the 2-2. Swing and a miss. They get Morris going for out number 1. Another K for Tegan Piven.
Now batting for the Cougars, the first baseman, number 30, Maya Lorenas.
That's Piven's 4th of the day. That brings Maya Lorenas up to the plate with 1 out. Piven fires. That's in the dirt for ball 1. One count on Piven. Grounder over to short. Kelly won't be able to make the throw over to first, but an impressive stop nonetheless. A backhand dive to keep it on the dirt.
Yeah, good stop there from Kelly. We've seen her flash the leather a few times today, but that would have been. And
it's been a tough day of work for her over at short.
Yeah.
I mean, you take that one hard bounce last inning, goes right, pretty much a worm burner to jumping up overhead that time. A hard grounder to the throwing hand side. There's ball 1 to Pilas. 1-0 makes it a 1-0 count. Here's the 1-0. And Pilas pops that up over the booth. And foul somewhere. 1-0 count. 1-1 count.
perfectly on the sidewalk.
Oh, how about that? One ball, one strike, one out, one runner on over at first. Cougars trailing 3-1. Piven steps and delivers. Fouled straight back at the booth. That's a 1-2 count. Piven trying to finish off the at-bat. Swing and a miss. She gets Pilas going for strikeout number 5.
Yeah, and Pilas kept on battling there, but Piven able to finish the job there with that high heat.
That brings Eliza Auger up to the plate. Auger struck out swinging her last time up. Piven fires. That's high for ball 1. They keep Lorenas over at first.
Yeah, this Cougar squad does not steal a lot of bags.
The 1-0. That's flown into short right. Back to make the play is Crutcher for out number 3. Cougars strand a man at first, but not before Alyssa Campos gets the Cougs on the board. A deep bomb over the left field wall for her second home run of the year. It puts the Cougars within 2, 3-1 when we come back in the top of the 5th. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network, top of the fifth. Wisconsin Lutheran up 3-1. Rebecca Redeman up to the plate for the second time today.
Ooh.
Redeman.
Wow, just missing that car.
Redeman flew out to right her last time up. It's got an 0-1 count now. Davis fires. That's a hot shot over to second. Backhanded. Auger over to first for out number 1. Freshman flashed in the leather.
Yeah, nice play there from Auger.
That'll bring Molly Kelly up to the plate.
Yeah, off the bat, I thought that could find some grass, but Auger able to get there with that speed. It's a good first out there.
Kelly grounded out to third her last time up.
Ooh.
Takes that one low for ball 1.
Yeah, just low.
One 1-0 count. Kelly holds up.
Ooh.
I think it was a pretty clear check swing whole way through. 2-0 count, and Kelly fouls that back off of Hajik for strike 1.
Yeah, Molly Kelly, not the best hitter. So if you're Katie Davis here, you just want to challenge her, throw something over the zone, and just trust your stuff.
The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Attacking the outside. Evens things up at 2 apiece.
Yeah, that's just a beautiful pitch there.
Here's the 2-2 count. That is a good take down low to fill it up.
Just low. Home plate umpire consistent. There's been two pitches in that exact same spot in this count, both called balls.
Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Davis gets Kelly swinging for the K.
Yeah, that's a beautiful pitch there. Kelly out in front of it.
Left fielder number 4, Maddie Heller.
That's Davis's second K of the day. That brings Maddie Heller up to the plate. Heller drew a walk her last time up. Showing bunt. Pulling back. And swinging through it for a strike. All of that to make it an 0-1 count.
Yeah, Heller trying to play those mind games right now. Obviously not working on the first pitch of the at-bat. Can do the same here.
This time drops the bunt foul for strike 2, so that takes away the bunt option.
Yeah, now you're in a great spot here if you're Katie Davis and looking for a clean inning. She's really been pitching excellent today.
Yeah, now you can just go after him.
Yeah.
0-2 pitch on the way. And that's a hot shot into right field for a base hit. A line drive just around the reaching glove of Lorenas, and Heller is aboard.
Yeah, if Lorenas isn't shifted up, that's an easy catch, but because of the threat of that bunt, looks to be in front of first base there and just by her. She's a couple steps back. I think she has time to make that play, but good piece of hitting there on an 0-2 count. Heller there.
That brings Juju Alloy up to the plate with a runner on first and 2 outs. Alloy, big swing and a miss. Heller going for second. In safely. That one took a nasty bounce before it got to Pilas at the bag.
Yeah, Pilas didn't look like she was there quite on time. Not a horrible throw. Maybe want a little bit more arm on that throw, but Pilas shifted way over, having to hustle over there, and that's something that WLC does pretty well. 4th in the NAC and stolen bases this season.
The 0-1. Alloy fouls that back to make it an 0-2 count. So Davis again ahead in the at-bat. That's grounded straight back to Davis, over to first. There's out number 3. Quick inning for Katie Davis. Keeps the gap at 2. It's still 3-1 Wisconsin Lutheran as we head to the bottom of the 5th. We'll be right back. And we're back, Cougar Sports Network, bottom of the 5th. Haley Goldsby at the plate. Tegan Piven back out on the mound for another inning of work. Piven fires. That's high and out for ball 1 on Goldsby. Cougars able to get a run across on an Alyssa Campos solo shot in the last inning. Here's the 1-0. And that's in there for strike 1-1.
Late call there.
The 1-1 to Goldsby. And she tags that to left field straight at Heller for out number 1.
Yeah, not a bad piece of hitting there, but in the wrong spot. And we've really seen the whole experience from Tegan Piven today. Strikeouts, forcing weak contact, getting out of jams.
So it makes it 1 out, nobody on for Lindley Southern. Reach base on a single to short her last time up.
Kind of a bit uncharacteristic on offense for the Cougars today, with that only run being that Campos home run. And this is a team that does not hit a lot of home runs.
The 1-0. And we kind of mentioned this when we were talking about, it's weakness on weakness, Cougars pitching on Wisconsin Lutheran offense. And then it's kind of strength on strength, Cougar hitting on Wisconsin Lutheran pitching. The pitching, though, from Piven so far proving to outmatch that Cougar hitting.
Yeah.
2-0 count on Southern.
And you'd imagine she'd be going the distance today for game 1, unless the Cougars can get something going here.
3-0 pitch. In there for a strike, makes it 3-1.
The way that Katie Davis has been pitching, you feel confident that this game is going to stay at 3-1. You're just a couple hits away from making this game more interesting.
Here's the 3-1. And Southern into left field. That'll fall, and it'll get to the wall. Southern rounding first. She's going for 2, and in safely. Lindley Southern a double to put a man in scoring position. There's still just 1 out.
Yeah, a little gapper there from Southern. Aggressive on that 3-1 count. That's what you got to do, and that's a great piece of hitting there. And now you got Santos here.
Arissa Santos up to the plate. And
this is the premier matchup, and Piven has won so far.
Yeah, Santos great on the year. She's had a rough day today, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fly out to short left. Piven fires. Santos takes low for ball 1.
And you got one of the best pitchers in the NAC versus one of the best hitters. Third time through, though, could be a different story. Santos looking to rewrite that.
Here's the 1-0. Takes low again, ball 2.
Another hitter's count here. Martinez wanting a little chat. Dial it back here.
We saw a little bit of work back in the Wisconsin Lutheran bullpen earlier. That's quieted down now. Here's a 2-0 count. Piven fires. And Santos takes high. Ball 3. Ultimate hitter's count with a runner in scoring position.
Do you give Santos the green light here? What do you think, Jonathan?
I'd give her the green light.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything to lose on this one. There's the pitch. The 3-0's fired in there for strike 1. Piven gets back in on the at-bat. You get Santos out. You got Hajik waiting on deck. Here comes the 3-1. That's grounded over to second. Looking over to first. There's out number 2. Consistent defensive play. So with 2 outs and runner on second, Melissa Hajik will come up to the plate.
Yeah, we know Hajik can tie this game with 1 swing.
Yeah, Hajik on the day is 0 for 2, a fly out and a ground out, both of them to second. Piven fires, Hajik takes high for ball 1. One 0 count, wind still blowing out to left field. Hajik takes low, ball 2. Piven's starting to lose a little bit of that command on the zone. And part of that might just be you got a runner on second, you don't really want to play with it. 2-0 pitch. And Hajik straight to third. Brackey makes the catch for out number 3, Cougars. Strand a runner at second. We head to the top of the 6th. Wisconsin Lutheran still on top, 3-1. And we're back. Top of the 6th, Summer Kroll leading things off for Wisconsin Lutheran. Kroll. One for 2 on the day. Single to left her last time up. Takes a hack at that first pitch for strike 1. Davis back out for her 4th inning of work. Been solid, only surrendered 1 run since she came into the game.
Yeah, and part of Davis's success today on the mound is she's been getting ahead in counts, and power pitcher, walks a lot of hitters. But staying ahead in counts is the name of the game for Davis, and she's been finding the zone
She's not
pretty well today.
Not staying ahead on this one, falling down 2-1. Back on the rubber. Davis winds and fires. And Kroll, hot shot goes foul down the third baseline. Evens things up at 2 apiece. You got Kroll leading things off. Maritza Martinez on deck, and then Kylie Gaston in the hole. You'll be facing those 3 at the minimum. It's the heart of the order. Davis on the rubber. Here's the 2-2. That's lifted foul down the right field line. And it'll get down. Kroll will get to keep hitting. Ball back in play. Davis steps and fires. Oh, Kroll getting defensive, reaching way out to foul that one off.
Talk about a 2-strike approach. Just making contact, leaning over there, off balance, but live to fight another day.
Stays a 2-2 count. Davis steps, delivers. That's low. It'll fill it up.
It's not a bad pitch, just better take from Kroll.
8th pitch of the at-bat on the way. And Kroll, another foul ball to keep the at-bat going.
Yeah, Kroll seeing the ball well here. You can imagine if she gets another one in the zone. Another one that she likes.
And you don't just want to fire it outside of the zone. You want to make it competitive still. Davis fires. And that is lifted deep to left and gone! Summer Kroll hitting like a professional. Finish off a 9-pitch at-bat with a dinger. And it's a 4-1 game. Her first shot of the year. That is just an impressive at-bat from Summer Kroll, and that's going to prompt a pitching change on the Cougars' end. Katie Davis is out, and into the game is Eden Pufall, who will get warmed up. We'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network when she's done doing that in just a minute. Top of the sixth, Wisconsin Lutheran down a little bit of insurance with a solo shot off the bat of Summer Kroll. Now Maritza Martinez up to the plate for WLC, and Eden Pufall fires that first pitch in there for a strike.
Yeah, Pufall arguably the best pitcher in this rotation, 4.27 ERA on the team. That leads the team. She also leads the team in strikeouts with 18. Just trying to keep this at a 3-run ball game.
1-1 pitch on the way from Pufall. That's in. Strike two.
Wow, that's nasty right there.
Going right after Martinez on the inside of the zone. The 1-2. That's low. Evens things up at 2 apiece. 2-2 count for Martinez. Gets back into the at-bat. That's a grounder over to second. Auger slinging a first for out number 1.
Fairly routine play there, and you'll take that for Pufall. 100%. Weak contact.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a tough spot to go in if you're Pufall. It's the heart of the order.
It's the heart of the order, and you're pretty much got to work a whole inning.
Yeah.
Bases empty, no outs.
Yeah, that Kroll home run. Lead off.
Kylie Gaston up to the plate, takes that one low and out for ball 1.
Yeah, Gaston long at bat. In her last appearance. Curious to see how she works this AB.
Here's the 1-0. Low and out again, ball 2.
Yeah, not a horrible pitch there, but Gaston just not offering at it.
The 2-0. Oh, buzzing the tower. Gaston's able to get out of the way. It fills it, makes it a 3-0 count.
I don't know how Gaston. I thought she was getting hit as soon as that left the fingertips of Pufall.
3-0 now.
Good reflexes there.
Pufall on the rubber. She'll wind and fire. And Gaston a hard grounder over to first. They give her the green light and 3-0, and it does not work out.
I mean, if you're getting the green light on 3-0 on a 3-0 count, you gotta love it.
Yeah.
And Just got on top of it.
Peyton Crutcher.
Yeah, Gaston's going to want that at-bat back.
I'll bring Peyton Crutcher up to the plate now with 2 outs. Poofall fires. Crutcher takes it outside for strike for ball 1. It's a 1-0 count. Poofall fires. Grounded over to short. Pilas slinging over to first. In time! Heck of a stretch for Maya Loredas to make the play. Poofall comes in and retires 3 straight to get out of the inning. Wisconsin Lutheran, they put another one across. Summer Crawl, her first shot of the season to make it a 4-1 game. Cougars now down by 3 will start to punch back when we return on the Cougar Sports Network. Bottom of the 6th, Cougars trailing by 3, 4-1. Alyssa Campos leading things off for the Cougars, and Campos had herself a day. So far, 2 for 2 with a double and a dinger. As Tegan Piven out for another inning of work, fires that one in for a strike.
Yeah, 4 hits today combined from Campos and Southern, and just 1 other hit for the Cougars offense today. We knew they were going to have their hands full today with Pivot.
The 0-1 is low, evens things up.
Campos seeing her really well. Home run and a double today.
Yeah, and the Cougars, it's not like the Cougars haven't been hitting. Both of these teams just have 5 hits apiece. The problem for the Cougars has been 1 long ball compared to 2, of course, but then also you're not stringing those hits together.
No, and that's kind of the identity of this offense, getting a bunch of hits, and because they don't hit a lot of home runs, but they don't have a bad offense, and they don't have a bad slug. They don't slug poorly or anything.
Campos, hot shot over to short. It eats up Kelly. So continues her tough day over at short.
You see, that one I would consider an error. That other one that kind of bounced up a few innings ago.
17, Morris.
That one's a play that Kelly has to make. But, I mean, hard hit ball from Campos. But
hard hit and not nearly as bad of a bounce as we saw before,
No.
but it looked like a slightly tougher one is. Coach Flagel is going to come out and check on her real quick. Kind of got up and hit the mask.
yeah, but another great swing there from Campos. Just really has Pivot's number today. Impressive day.
Yeah, was it an error? Yeah. Was it a well-hit grounder? Also, yes. Both can be true.
100%.
That puts a runner on with no outs for the Cougars, and Michaela Morris stepping up to the plate. Morris is 0 for 2 on the day. She reached on an error her first time up. She struck out swinging her last time at the plate. Piven fires. That's low for ball 1. Good start to the at-bat for Morris. One-0 count. Piven fires. And that's flown into right. Charging is Alloy to make the grab.
And we're talking about stringing those hits together. But part of the reason they haven't been able to string hits together is this incredible defense from WLC. They've made some Sports Center top 10-esque plays on the day, and
And with some of these plays we've watched, I think that some of the other teams Cougars have played in the NAC this season, there's plays that wouldn't be made by other teams in this conference. That would be a totally different ball game. After that, now up to the plate for the Cougars, Maya Lorenas, who's 1 for 2 on the day.
When you pair Piven stuff with this defense, it's a scary sight for any team in the NAC. Just making all the right plays.
1-0 pitch. Fired in for a strike.
I mean, what's been surprising is WLC's power. It's not surprising the Cougars giving up home runs. They do that a lot. But WLC had some awesome swings today.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, runner at first. Piven fires. Lorenas takes it for ball 2.
Yeah, pretty easy take there. That ball never finding the zone.
That's a solid take.
Now you're in a favorable count.
2-1.
Gotta get this runner into scoring position.
Piven delivers outside, throw down to first. Campos back safe. 3-1 count on Lorenas.
Yeah, Martinez was doing that a lot earlier in the game. Haven't seen him throw over to first in a while. Partially because there haven't been a lot of runners over at first. But then again, this Cougar team, they don't like to steal a lot, so awfully surprising.
The 3-1. That's low, ball for Walker. That puts 2 aboard with 1 out. And pinch hitting in place of Elena Pilas is Esme Luvano.
Yeah, Luvano batting .375 on the season. All in pinch hit opportunities. He has not started a game, but really filling that spot up. All singles on the year. .375 batting average, .375 slug, and that's fine. I mean, a single in this situation most likely scores 1. But you want to string those hits together like we've talked about today, Jonathan.
This is the point of the game where you're getting runners on board any means necessary.
Yeah.
You're throwing whatever you can at the plate to try and get something to stick.
Pinch running at first base for the Cougars, number 2, Charlize Gonzalez.
Oh, also a pinch runner in over at first. Charlize Gonzalez headed over to first to pinch run for Maya Lorenas. Get some more speed on the base paths. First and second, 1 out for Esme Luvano, who, after the official goat, runs over to the WSC dugout to let him know what the changes are. And then he takes a quick trip over to the booth. He'll head back to the backstop, and we'll get back underway. Piven on the rubber. Gets the call. Steps, winds, fires. And Luvano takes that in for a strike.
A good pitch there. Really setting the tone of the at-bat, that high heat.
A 1 count. Make that 0-2. Piven just attacking the zone.
Those are 2 great pitches to start off this at-bat. Really rattling the pinch hitter here. It's your first at-bat in the game in the 6th inning, and you see those 2 pitches. That's rough.
Here's the 0-2.
Ooh, just out.
Just try and extend the zone. Maybe get Luvano to bite on a 2-strike approach.
That's a courageous take there. Right off the plate.
Makes it a 1-2 count now. The 1-2 high evens things up to 2 apiece. Martinez having to hop up for it. Here's the 2-2. And Luvano fouls that straight back to the booth. Keeps the at-bat going. As Piven gets back on the rubber, here comes the 2-2. Outside again, that fills it up. Not able to get Lovano to extend the zone.
Yeah, Lovano just hasn't moved that bat all at bat.
Full count. Here comes the payoff pitch. That's low, ball
Wow.
4. Lovano works a walk, and that's going to juice the bases with 1 out for Eliza Auger. So they'll bring Pilas back in to go run for Luvano. So Pilas back into action. So the base is loaded and 1 out. Eliza Auger at the plate for the Cougars. Auger's 0 for 2 on the day, struck out swinging. She's popped out to second base.
Now batting for the Cougars, the second baseman, number 5, Eliza Auger.
It's a big opportunity for the freshman.
Yeah, this is the best, I mean, because that's saying best opportunity the Cougars have had all day. Piven fires. Auger popping that over to second. Everyone is safe! RBI single for Eliza Auger. That's a little bit of a janky drop, and it works out for the Cougs.
Hey, put the ball in play. Anything can happen. I mean, if on the right spot.
I mean, that is the shortest line drive single maybe I've seen in a hot minute.
Yeah, that was. I don't know. Line drive doesn't feel like the proper term, but.
Can't call that a pop-up. I mean,
no.
Just kind of floated right out to the edge of the dirt.
You just want to keep the line moving here.
Mm-hmm. So now Haley Goldsby at the plate for the Cougs. Goldsby, she has been giving the balls some rides. Deep out to left today. Hasn't been able to get to find the dirt. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Evens it up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, and obviously not a great day for Arissa Santos, but you want to get her back out this inning, if possible.
Yeah, you got 1 out. You got Goldsby at the plate. You got Southern on deck. Cougars trailing by 2.
Southern with 2 hits today as well.
The 1-1 from Piven. Just out there for ball 2. Here's the 2-1. And Goldsby's going to pop that foul off of Division Street. Hits a car, rolls under another. That's a 2-2 count. Piven gets the call, steps, winds, fires. That's popped into center. Redeman charging on it, makes the grab. They're going to send Gonzalez from third, and she is in safely. The throw is way offline. Sack fly for Haley Goldsby, and the Cougars are within 1.
Yeah, I really like that play there, being aggressive.
Number 11, Lindley
Not a great throw there from center fielder Redeman.
Hey, you do what you do. You make
Yeah.
it. When
Put
you make
the pressure on.
Exactly. You got to force the defense to make the play. Redeman can't make the play. You push the run across.
And now you got second and third. So you'd imagine anything in the outfield to score in 2. Unless it's a really hard hit ball, but.
Southern at the plate. Southern a double into left center her last time up. This time she's got 2 in scoring position. Piven fires that high for ball 1.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Southern and Campo seeing the ball really well today. Off of Piven.
The 1-0 pitch. That's on the edge. 1-1 count.
That's a good pitch there. Fine in the zone. You want to get ahead here if you're Piven. Piven's been getting behind a lot in this inning, and that's part of the reason that Cougars are threatening here.
The 1-1 on the way. Good take from Southern. Makes it a 2-1 count. Now it's the 2-1 on the way. Just low.
That was close.
Martinez hanging the head, makes it a 3-1 count on Southern. You get through Southern, you got Santos on deck. Piven checks, winds, fires. That's popped up. And it's off the netting for a foul ball. Makes it a full count. 3-2 for Southern. Piven trying to finish off the inning. Winds and fires. Into left field. That's down for a base hit. 2 will score. Throw in, not in time. Lindley Southern puts the Cougars ahead. It's 5-4 Concordia. That's a good piece of hitting, Sam.
And what did we talk about? Stringing together base runners, stringing together hits, and awesome hit there from Southern. What a great day for Lindley Southern. Similar spot to her double, from her double earlier in the game. But yeah, like I said, anything in the outfield most likely scoring 2, and all of a sudden, 5-4 Cougars lead.
Yeah, Cougars, they finally get that big inning they've been searching for. That's going to prompt a pitching change for Wisconsin Lutheran. Into the game to replace Tegan Piven is Alyssa Dinauer. She'll get warmed up on the mound. We'll be right back in just a minute on the Cougar Sports Network. Bottom of the 6th, Concordia storming all the way back. Down 4-1 to start the inning. They now lead 5-4, and with 2 outs, Arissa Santos at the plate with Lindley Southern over at first. New arm on the mound, Alyssa Dinauer fires that first pitch in for a strike.
Yeah, Alyssa Dinauer is the second best pitcher on the staff. 3.03 ERA on the season, 37 innings pitched, 27 strikeouts to 8 walks. Extremely impressive stuff. Trying to hold this deficit to just 1 after this crooked number that the Cougars have been able to put up in this bottom of the 6th.
The 0-1 low and out. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's high, make it 2-1. It's a massive shift in momentum this inning, pretty much all game. It's been on that WLC side of the field, and it's been comfortable and for good reason. Cougars just hadn't been able to seem to get the offense clicking, and it's just 1 inning. They're right back on top.
Yeah. And Piven finally not able to get out of that jam. Cougars finding green grass.
The 3-1. That's popped up on the infield. Crutcher coming onto it, stepping off and letting Gaston take that one. For out number 3. That'll finish off the inning. Wisconsin Lutheran suddenly coming up in the top of the 7th for their final 3 outs. They trail by 1 for the first time today. It's 5-4 CUC when we come back. Top of the 7th. Wisconsin Lutheran trailing for the first time today, and they've got 3 outs to try and claw it back. Cougars leading 5-4. And it's the bottom of the order coming up for Wisconsin Lutheran, leading things off. Anna Brackey. Brackey 0 for 2 on the day. She takes the first pitch from Pufall, low for ball 1. It's Brackey up to the plate. Redeman on deck. Keller in the hole, or Kelly in the hole. The 1-0 on the way to Brackey. Takes that on the inside edge. Strike 1.
Yeah, really crowding the plate there. That ball found that inside corner.
A 1-1 count. Pufall fires that outside.
Really?
And Brackey able to hold up. 2-1 count. The 2-1 from Pufall. Grounded foul. Makes it a 2-2 count. Brackey, a couple of flyouts today. That's something we've been seeing from Wisconsin Lutheran, putting contact, sending it out of the infield, but not able to get to find grass. Pufall fires the 2-2. Brackey takes that in the dirt. There's a full count. At this point, it's getting men on by any means necessary, especially going through the bottom of the order. Pufall gets the call. Now she fires. And Brackey into center field. Play is made! Michaela Morris scooping it right off the grass. When you say scoop, that is as much of a scoop as you can get in the outfield, reaching down and digging it out before it touches down.
That's an incredible play there.
I mean,
I thought it hit the grass. I'm not sure from this angle, but nevertheless, awesome play.
there's out number 1, and up to the plate, Rebecca Redeman. Redeman 0 for 2. Grounded out a second last time up. Starts this count out 0-1. The 0-1 on the way. Takes that off the outside, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Nobody on for Redeman. Pufall steps and fires. Redeman takes high for ball 2. It's 2-1 on the way now. That's low again, 3-1 count.
Yeah, I need a strike here. Get back in the count.
As you will take a quick mound visit to chat with Pufall and warm things up. You got Redeman at the plate, Kelly down in the hole, Redeman the tying run, Kelly the go-ahead run on deck.
After Davis gave up the home run at the top of the last inning.
Everyone back over to their bags. Ajik back down behind home plate. And Pufall stepping back up to the rubber. The 3-1 on the way. That's into right field. And that's a fair ball. Base hit for Rebecca Redeman. Pretty much right on the line. And the tying run is aboard for WLC.
Yeah, really just saw that off. Opposite field hit there.
And with the tying run aboard, in desperate need of some runs, a pinch hitter for WLC, Delana Morgis coming into the game. And she'll be pinch hitting for Molly Kelly. And, you know, probably a good decision here from Coach Flagel. Morghisi on the year through 33 at-bats, hitting .364. Pufall fires. Morghisi fouls it back for strike one. Morghisi hitting .364, slugging around .424, getting on base at 400%. She's only struck out once through those 33 at-bats. The 0-1. Just dropped in there. Whew. I haven't seen Pufall go that slow since she came into the game, and suddenly Morghisi at an 0-2 hole.
Yeah, you got to imagine Morghisi was not expecting that.
Pufall on the rubber. Here comes the 0-2. Steps, fires. That's outside for ball one. 1-2 now. That's grounded over to second. Auger charging, flipping to first. There's one. It moves Redmond up to second, so the tying run's in scoring position with 2 outs. Pinch hitting for Maddie Heller is Addison Wheeler now.
Now pinch hitting for the Warriors, number 27, Addison Wheeler.
Yeah, Wheeler batting .318 on the season. Slugs around .455.
What you're really looking for, because you obviously do need it, but you want something, not just a base hit, but something in the outfield.
Yeah,
you get it in the outfield, you can probably score that run from second.
Especially with 2 outs, running on contact.
And you got speed over at second with Redmond. Redmond 7 for 9 on stolen bases this season. The 0-1 tapped foul, and Wheeler's suddenly in an 0-2 count.
Yeah, Wheeler looked a little hesitant on that. Outside. Pulled the trigger. Last second swing, just got some contact, but now in an 0-2 hole.
Pufall on the rubber. Steps and fires. That's grounded up the middle. Pufall gloves it. Cougars win! They roar back in the bottom of the 6th. And then Pufall picks up the save. Cougars finish off a Game 1 victory 5-4 over Wisconsin Lutheran. That is a huge Game 1 victory over WOC. And honestly, as exciting that is for the Cougars, you can just look out in left field. Demoralizing loss for WOC. You do everything right.
Yeah.
For 5.5 innings, and then bottom of the 6th, Cougars punch straight back and take the lead 5-4, and that's how it ends.
Yeah, and Lindley Southern coming up with those big hits. And it kind of felt out of nowhere. I mean, Pivot, she was in control the entire game. Yeah, gave up a few, got into a few jams, but really just terrific effort there from the Cougars. 4 runs in that 6th inning off of one of the best pitchers in the NAC, and hopefully ride some momentum into this game too.
Cougars finish off a Game 1 win 5-4. They'll be back in about half an hour for Game 2 against Wisconsin Lutheran to try and finish off the doubleheader sweep. For now, the Cougars move up to 8-11 in NAC play. Wisconsin Lutheran dropping to 7-8 now. But that'll do it for Game 1 here between the Cougars and the Warriors. We'll be right back in about half an hour for Game 2 between these two squads on the Cougar Sports Network.
For tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.